Hi, soul friends, it's Tannaz Hosseinpour, and welcome to another short solo episode of Minutes on Growth. A couple of days ago on my morning walk, I was reminded of a beautiful truth, a truth that if we remember as adults more often, most of our internal confusion subsides. In my one-on-one sessions, I hear this question a lot. Who am I? So much of our time in life is spent chasing after this question. We look for identity in places and in people, and for short periods of time, we attach our sense of self to the answers that we find in them. However, since everything in life is temporary, that attachment and recognition subsides with time as well. Then we're back to where we started, looking for answers. Now, we've all heard the statement, all that you seek is already within you. But what does that even really mean? Well, let's look at the world around us. Let's look at the plants, the animals. Let's look at infants. An infant doesn't think to itself, let me be an infant, let me talk, let me crawl. It just does. A lemon tree doesn't think to itself, let me be a lemon tree and bear lemons. It just does. An animal doesn't think to itself, let me be an animal. It just is. There is a certain level of knowing present. It uses its internal wisdom to live its truth. We see this when animals give birth and their offspring slowly start to move on their own. We see this when infants start to learn how to crawl and walk. This inner wisdom is shining so brightly when we're born. Infants are so connected to this source. However, that light, it starts to dim as we grow older. That certainty in who we are and what we're meant to do, and that level of creativity that we have, that level of knowing, it starts to fade away. It starts to get overshadowed by our parents, by our community, by our teachers. Our caretakers tend to transfer their own hopes and wishes that they had for themselves onto us, and soon we realize that we are no longer able to distinguish what desire belongs to us and what desire belongs to others. While their intentions tend to be pure and good-natured, every soul is meant for a different purpose. And this is why so many people start to feel unfulfilled and confused when they reach a certain age. Their programming does not align with their soul's calling. And the truth is, we cannot live other people's dreams as well as they can live their own for them. So as adults, we then start to develop an urge, an inkling to get an understanding of ourselves. And we tend to do this based on the outside, from an external perspective. But the answer is already inside of us, and it's hidden under years and years and years of social conditioning passed on to us by others. So what is the solution? It's a simple solution, but necessarily not easy, because it requires us to do the one thing everyone tells us not to do in this world, which is to do nothing. It's allowing ourselves the space and grace to enter into the state of silence, into the space of nothingness, where everything is possible, and separate ourselves from the illusion of the outside world. Only then is the inner wisdom activated, and we can finally understand from our core who we are and who we are meant to be. It's also important to note that some people can be extremely instrumental in helping us activate the inner ding. Those are the people who feel like home, who empower us simply by being in their presence. And if you don't have that community, then please find a mentor or a coach who can create that safe space for you to go within. As a coach myself, I know that I feel honored to have the duty of helping my clients remove these layers to get to their truth. And yes, it takes time, but that glow in their eyes when something clicks, you know that feeling you get when you're like, I just can't explain it, but I know. Or when an idea pops up and it excites every cell in your body, or the realization that finally puts your whole body at ease. The internal wisdom is always alive. We just need to be willing to hear it. I once read a beautiful line that said, when the teacher is ready, the student will appear. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the leader is ready, the vision will appear. When the artist is ready, the creative force will appear. We simply need to be ready. And that readiness comes from the willingness to let go of all that we thought we are and allow our soul to go back home to its truth. I promise you that in that truth there lies an abundance of love, joy, bliss, flow, wealth, and more. That truth gives us purpose, gives us meaning. So this week, soul friends, gift yourself the beauty of silence, to do nothing. Silence the chattering thoughts. Allow yourself to sit in the space of not knowing, not having all the logical answers, and allow yourself to go deep within into that vault of knowledge that lies within your heart. A great technique is imagining a beautiful box that holds within it bright golden light. Visualize this box in your heart. You and only you have the key. Envision yourself putting in the key and opening the box and being completely covered with that light. Do not seek the answers. Allow them to come to you on their own at the right time. Have trust in the process. You are much, 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 much more powerful than you could ever imagine. Thank you for listening. Speak soon.